What's up, everybody? Welcome to the third Wednesday at 9 o'clock with Realtor Glenn Bill. By the way, it's four. This is the fourth.
Right.
So for those of you who didn't watch one of the past three, Glenn Bill is a top producing realtor in the state of Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, does over 125 sides a year, public speaker, podcaster, influencer. He does a daily Facebook Live for anybody who just wants to get positive mental exercises to improve your positivity. The guy is just a powerhouse. And I've seen him speak at a number of lenders. First time I saw you speak was at Fairway, and I was just wowed. I'm like, I love this dude. Like, me and him could be like bros, best friends.
That's cool.
So this is the fourth one, and the whole spirit of it is, what do realtors really think, and what do realtors really want from loan officers in today's market? And so we did the first two with just Glenn and I riffing on that. I mean, they're incredible. Check them out. Last week we mastermind with 4 ballers. All of them did over 100 transactions a year, and a few of them were like over 200 and 300. So just Hall of Fame real estate professionals that mastermind. Glenn asked them questions around, guys, what do you want from your lender? And what are you doing to virtually connect? And so I'm going to hand it off to Glenn, and he's going to share 5. What's your headline? What are you going to call this?
I think it's the 5, really the 5 new realities of the realtor loan originator experience or relationship. It's kind of, and mortgage coach community, drill us with questions. We're here for you. We're here to let you learn. I'm here to help you get inside the hearts and the minds of the real estate agents. But after this is our 4th and final live, and then I'm going to be on, I think, May 26th on the Mortgage Coach call. But this is your time. This is your 35 minutes to go, what is my strategy when it comes to realtor relationships, creating them, enhancing them, emerging as the #1 loan originator with realtors in your market. That's what this 35 minutes is about. That's what I want it to be about. And so I've just this morning said, okay, let's go through the 3 things that we've done. And today is kind of the culmination of all that. And I came up with what I would call the 5 realities that I, helped co-create here with Dave, that I think 5 points that you can walk from this call and go, okay, I need to check myself. I need to grade myself. And this is hopefully what I'm going to be focusing on. I know that you guys are doing things that work. Don't stop doing those. But look, at the country is starting to open up. And you are either, going to be, you're either going to be watching things happen, right? Or you're going to be making things happen. And hopefully you're going to be doing that in a fun and positive way. And hopefully you're not sitting there going, what the hell just happened? Because as America opens up, the opportunity is going to be unreal. It's just like the small business PPP that went out. Look at 386 billion went out, and it took 2 hours to launch and 3 hours to fund. Done. And everybody, when this economy and when this country opens up, all the loan originators that haven't been on these calls, who are going to be behind, who don't have the mindset that you've created through these 4 calls, you're going to kick their ass. At least I hope you kick their ass. And I hope that they don't like you, right? I want you to be the LO that is doing things. And I can tell you, last week I did a virtual open house and with one of the mortgage coach professionals, Eve Cotton, and we generated 40 buyer leads through Keyboom, actually, that he was using his technology, and we just did it. And I had 4 realtors call me and go, how did you do what you did? The past 28 days, I have been upping my Facebook live game every day, 3 o'clock, University of Attitude. But through those 28 Facebook lives, I've learned how to schedule a Facebook Live, how to market a Facebook Live, how to cross-post a Facebook Live, how to invite groups to a Facebook Live. And so my social media imprint went from 5,000 impressions to 82,000 impressions where I'm at today. And so when this thing happens, I'm positioned, right? I've been doing it, and it's still not too late because we're probably still 30 days away from full on whatever. And so we're going to go through those 5 new realities of loan originator realtor relationships. And Dave, I think you said, let's just kind of go through our thoughts of these rock star real estate agents who got on that we role played with last week. And Dave, what was like the number 1 or number 2 things that you were thinking as these 4, what they represented 600 transactions a year? What was your takeaway from that?
Well, first of all, I'm going to only share one, but before I do that, I want to make sure everybody wrote down a couple things that Glenn Bill said. America is opening up, and you're either going to be watching what happens, or you're going to be making it happen. So guys, the past 30 days of quarantine has changed customer experience forever. There's been a rapid acceleration in digital adoption. And I actually got goosebumps, like thinking about like, it's going to open, and the people that, and then guys, if you didn't write this down, the people that have been watching our calls, you're going to kick everybody else's ass. So I didn't mention it in the opening for anybody that didn't catch on. Glenn Bill is a former high school football coach, and once a football coach, always a football coach. I think that's why I like him, is he just, let's kill our competition.
Yes.
And in the most positive sense. And my goal is that, hey, if you are part of the Mortgage Coach community, you use the Mortgage Coach TCA at the point of sale, I want you to win. And if you're tuning into our content, I want you to have an advantage. So anyways, Glenn, love that, dude.
Boom.
All right. So my number 1 takeaway, and I'm only going to say one because this is about you and what did you get from that? What value can you share with us? But my number 1 was just how much they wanted a mortgage professional's help to digitally connect with their customer, or virtually connect. That like in the mortgage business, we're better at Zoom. We have Mortgage Coach, the ultimate virtual mortgage experience. Like we're better at video, and they all wanted it. Like, hey, would you like, Glenn, I think you asked every single one of them, would you like it if your loan officer would help you virtually connect with all your past customers? Would you use him? And I'm like, and that wasn't rehearsed. And they were all very successful people that make $1 million or more a year, and we know what those kind of realtors are. They're not shy with words. If they were like, hell no, they would have said hell no. And they were like, hell yes. So that was my number 1 takeaway. What were some of yours, and what are the big 5?
Right. And so Dave, I mean, the bottom line is this, that's not what I asked him. I didn't ask them, would you let your loan originator help you? I said, if a loan originator who you don't even know,
Good point,
approaches you, which is, I have the 5, when I do my mortgage training, how to, it's purchase mentality, how to get inside the hearts and minds of a real estate agent. One of the things we teach is the approach, right? How do you approach a realtor and get them to say yes? Everyone said, if I've never heard of the loan originator and they called and said, hey, I'm really interested in connecting you with your base at a different level. I've arranged all this technology. All you got to do is show up and be as awesome as you are. Would you consider letting me do that for you? And every single one of them, like in 1 second, said yes. And so this idea, right, it came up 2 weeks ago, and you said, let's just do it, Glenn. And so I think what we did is we proved that if you're going elephant hunting for the biggest, which is what you should be doing, for the biggest agents in the marketplace, then this strategy works. So why don't we go through the 5 epiphanies that I had? They may not be new to you. Don't tell me that you know it, but just tell me, just ask yourself, how good am I at it? Yes.
Hey, real quick, by the way, guys, I would love to know if you were on that call and you heard it and there was a big takeaway for you. put that in comments down below in this Facebook chat. Just give me a bullet point, a tweet, like, because that's the other thing. If you are watching this content, hopefully you're getting one nugget, one idea that you're implementing. Cut and paste that from your notes, or give us a little tweet in comments. What did you get? And then, of course, Glenn, what did you get?
Sure. And certainly we want your questions. So please do that. I do want to invite you guys. I do have the Source of Sales High Performance group that I'd love you guys, if you're interested, to come to on Facebook. It is for realtors and loan originators together. It's a group of high performance realtors, high performance mortgage people. If you want to be a part of this, if you like what I'm doing, we post all of my interviews and all that there. And I also give specific secrets on how to join together. So that's a community we're just started building. So let's go with the 5. What do you think, Dave? Sound good?
Let's go. What are they?
All right. So number 1, I think it's obvious, right? I think the number 1 takeaway that I want the mortgage coach community to have is this. It's about the agent's database. Okay. I want you guys so focused on trying to get an agent to hand over their database to you so you can market to them, you can market for them, you can enhance their customers. It's like, it may not happen right away, but your goal should be, and when you know you're a rock star LO, or when you know when you're like the best of the best, when an agent says, here's my client base, and I want you to continue to send them content, creative content, value-driven content. But when you can, it's about that client base to serve them. But if you can get a hold of those and help their people in their businesses, right? It's like if an agent said, here's 100 people in my mailing list, and you start engaging with their contact base, and then you start knowing some of their contact bases, and then you can help their contact base profit, get a new job, get a pay raise, create wealth, then man, you talk about the ultimate synergism. That's the deal. So we gave you 5 levels of marketing on our first call, and this is just the strategy. Here's where I want your minds to be. Anything you do is about that realtor's client base. I want that to be first and foremost in your mind. Thoughts on that, Dave?
Yeah, so I put a comment saying, who's getting realtors to give you their database? So I would love for you to give that a like if you're doing it, comment on that, who's doing that. That has been a theme in the mortgage coach community. We give annual reviews, and we'll help get more transactions out of it.
Love it.
HomeBot is killing it, adding
Right.
value. And so, there's a lot of ways of doing that. Please get your comments down below and questions for Glenn Bill.
So yeah, that may or may not be it, but again, it may be, hey, Glenn, I know this, but the question is how good are you at it? And you know what? You now have the time, because we're all quarantined still, to make that happen, to create a strategy to make that happen. And you know what? You don't want them to just give it to you. You want to earn it, right? And I think that's some syntax and some language. Look, I love to earn the right to help you as a realtor. This is the scriptapalooza, right? I'd love to help, or I'd love to earn the right to help enhance your value, enhance your celebrity, and enhance your expertise with your database. I'd love to earn that right to do it. I think that's the language you use. Number 2.
Time out. I want to make sure everybody got that. I want to say it one more time. I want people to write this down. Right. I want to help you do what?
Yeah, I want to earn the right, right? I want to earn the right, right? To help you engage with your database at a higher level, to give value, to position you as an expert, to position you as a celebrity, and ultimately, obviously, to sell more homes, right? That's
boom. So celebrity, influencer, expert, sell more homes,
right?
And try to pick up their language. What do they want? And use their language. But okay, next one. I just want to make sure everybody pulled that out.
So the next one is, look, and I know you're in the mortgage business, but stop thinking you're in the mortgage business. I want you to start really thinking that you are in the media business. Like, you're in the media business, whether you want to or not. You know, I do a lot of business coaching, and it's like, yeah, what's your business, but what business are you really in, right? And we always go back to the, you know, McDonald's example that I use. Yeah, they're in the cheeseburger business, but aren't they really in the media marketing or movie marketing business? Are there businesses in your and I think you could probably come up with some examples in your market, or huge, like Apple. Apple was in the computer business. Well, guess what? Now they're in the music business. Let's be honest about it. So you're in the mortgage business. I get that. But I want you to start thinking like a media producer, right? I want you to start saying, I am in the media business when it's all said and done. And I am in the business of making real estate agents media savvy, media superstars, and media present, right? And so, like, what has hopefully all of us done, everybody who's actively participating in the pandemic, which is what I like to call it, their video skills have gotten better, right? Hopefully your video and your live skills have gotten better. Hopefully your virtual skills have gotten better. Hopefully the way you're presenting yourself and the way you're communicating to the world, right, has gotten better. So if it hasn't, let's start getting better. If it hasn't, let's start finding the loan originators who are killing it with media, right? To, hey, Scott, what's up, brother? To follow them and see what they're doing, right? Have a mentor copy them. Attitude booster number 5. Who is the loan originator that's doing media better than anyone else? And study them for the next week or two, and then copy them and do what they're doing. So that's point number 2.
Okay, time out, guys. So I want everybody on this call, who are you going to follow? And maybe you already followed Denise Donahue, the mortgage nerd, but this next week, you're going to really study what she's doing. Maybe you're already following Scott, but this week, so tag below who is the loan officer, the realtor, and I recommend one of each. Have one realtor that you're going to study and one mortgage professional that you're going to study online who you admire. It's you. Like, if Denise is doing things that you're like, I love Denise and she's great entertainment, but I'm never going to do what Denise does. Maybe we need to find someone else. So find someone that is killing it, that you want to emulate, and study them. Tag them down below. And Scott, bro, thank you for showing up. Glenn Bill, last minute, asked if Scott could join us. And here's another takeaway, guys, I had, is that Scott, like, we did this 45-minute mastermind. Actually, I think it went an hour with these ballers. And Scott actually did a 5-minute, it was a commercial. Like, I'm a lender, and I asked them to come in and give a 5-minute commercial, but it wasn't just a commercial. It was a strategy to help them sell more homes, and they loved it. Like, it was a valuable part of the event was his commercial. So if you missed that call last week, check it out. Scott Nicholson, thanks for joining us. Glenn, number 3. And I know you asked Scott to come here, so whenever you know, he's on your team now. You know, I'll let you call him in when you want him.
We'll do number 3, and then I'll propose, you know, or I'll let the community know what Scott's doing, right? So the bottom line is this. Point number 3. The bottom line is we need to help agents sell and connect in new ways, right? Not necessarily a new concept, but I guess let me kick back. I would find out who's the number 1 mortgage person in your market and follow them. See what they're doing. Chances are they're doing nothing with video. Chances are they're doing nothing that's new, that's cutting edge, that's helping them emerge. And if they're not, then you need to go kick their ass with video. You need to be like, look at these guys, you know, this guy's living in the 70s. Because here's what I believe is going to happen. All the top producers who aren't learning, moving, relearning, and unlearning, they're going to get stuck in the mud, and like, shit's going to happen fast, and it's going to be flying. And I hope that you're on that train. So help agents sell and connect in new ways. We've been through a million different ways, but, you know, just to sit there and brainstorm, or to again, do these calls with these agents and these agent panels, chances are they already have a bunch of new ways. Then you need to ask yourself, how can I support them in their new way to market? How can I support them in their new way to connect? And most importantly, we want to know, how can I get a hold of their mailing list in order to help them do that? So pretty basic, but are you really, how creative are you? And could you just come up with 3 ways to help agents connect and or do business that are different that nobody else has ever thought of? Now that's hard, but that's what should be going on in your head. Like the whole creative, how creative am I and how much new information can we get? So with that, I'm going to segue into Scott. Go ahead.
Time out real quick. I want to add my 2 cents on that, because masterminding has been my lifelong passion. I mean, every bit of success I have personally gotten, and the founding of Mortgage Coach. Mortgage Coach is just an accumulation of masterminding. Now, Glenn doesn't like using that term, but guys, I just saw someone post a comment down below saying, hey, I'm in a market of, I think they said 200,000, no, 300 population, not small, not big, but how can I differentiate? Like, I don't want to follow the people I'm doing. So Sam, first of all, thank you for sharing that. But, you know, when you do mastermind events, every one of them is unique, you know, and when you create content from interview, every one of them is unique. So I'm not going to go on a long rant to answer your question right now, but I just, that third one that he gave you, guys, it is gold. It's never been more gold than it is today. And then here's the beauty of it. Not only will you be facilitating it and getting these people better and smarter, you will be growing and getting better and smarter. So, I mean, Mortgage Coach community, get after that one. Glenn, back to you to bring in Scott.
Cool. So, Scott's got a, you know, he's working that 2-1 buy down. And so Scott, what I thought we could do is a 5 to 8 minute role play if we can get there. I'm an agent who's very smart. I used to own a mortgage company. So you can just be direct and talk. But
Right.
I'm a real agent, right? And I'm in the middle of a deal. And Scott, because of his 5-minute presentation, I said, man, this is a guy that could help me close a $500,000 sale. That's 15 grand in my pocket. First of all, Mortgage Coach, do you understand how much I love loan originators that put $15,000 in my pocket because they're really smart? I mean, freaking love you guys. Like, how do you not love somebody that can help you make 15? So the scenario is this, Scott. I have a beautiful 1855 historic home in one of the hottest areas in Indianapolis. We did a Facebook Live. We got 1,000 views. We got 40 leads through Keyboom. And one of the Mortgage Coach guys, Ebe Cotton, who I love from AMCAP, was on. And I said, dude, work that 2-1 buy down. So he kind of worked it, but I have a feeling he didn't do as good. And I hope that Ebe is on here. And I want to see, I want you to say, I want you to be my mortgage expert. I want you to give me some ahas.
Right.
And, if we need to get our customers on the call with you, then, you know, we'll try to facilitate that too, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm an agent. We're listed at 550. They come in at 475. We just countered at 535, understanding that I got a little fudge room for some seller participation. And so we're going to wait for them to come back. And then I'm going to have a sit down and say, guys, and the other caveat is I own the home down the street, which is a historic home built in 1880, sizable property. And so, you know, my sale is, I've been you. I had to redo a farmhouse. It was 1880. I know how stressful this can be. I want to talk to you about a way to facilitate the sale, to save you thousands of dollars, especially up front. And then the first few years as you're getting used to your new norm. And it's this thing called a 2-1 buy down. So my sellers are at 535, the buyers are at 475, and Scott's going to help me not crush my sellers on price, but create a financing option that's a win for the buyer and a win for the seller. Scott, ready, go. I got my pen and I'm ready.
Yeah. So one, thanks. And then, so first of all, it's not a 2-1 buy down. So I know people get to just just so we're throw it out there for everyone listening, it's actually a permanent rate buy down. So we're going to take a 30-year fix. I apologize. I got a bunch of workers out front. So I'm providing the solution to potential buyers, a 30-year fix. So there's no need to refi. They don't need to do anything. They're fixed for life, so to speak. So there's no adjustments whatsoever. And I know some people in the prior, didn't like those, and I figure, hey, if I'm going to structure this, I'm going to take care of that buyer too. So with that, so let's review. As a lender, when Glenn comes to me, I'm going to go, okay, great. Where are we at? We're at 550. First question to Glenn is, where's my comps? We support 535 all day long, and that's where we're going to stand. I go, okay, good. Where's the buyer coming in? Scott, they're coming in on their offer at 570 or 475. Okay, so let's think from the buyer's perspective why they're doing that. Number one, and actually the next question I'm going to ask Glenn is, what's the down payment? If you know, that's an important part so I can structure correctly, and credit. That's important, especially if we're not putting 20% down. It's going to influence my PMI. So that's number two. So I got that. So the details are they're at 575, putting 10 down, excellent credit. Okay, so let's put the puzzle together. Now let's pivot to the buyer and let me think why they're doing this. And I said on a couple calls prior to this is you have to think of the buyer that's coming into today's market that was maybe post-virus coming in, probably has a little bit more debt, a little bit more nervous of putting more cash in. But let's look at Glenn's property. It's an historic property. They're going to be, so let's say we close it without any health and safety issues. They're going to want to hold some money back for upgrades on their own. So they're not going to want to dump a bunch of cash in there. So how do I solve this problem between a seller here and a buyer there and those desires? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I'll give you the two solutions I actually just worked up for Glenn this morning. So I'm going to share. Okay. Can you see my screen all right?
You see it?
Okay. So let me change the view. This is a better view to look at. Yes. See it all right? Let me get a bigger screen here for you guys. Okay. First one out. So, yeah. So buyer's going to be, I'm going to get rid of all this. So I'm going to start fresh. Buyers on the left. This is where
Scott, by any chance, do you mind putting the link in chat just so folks could follow along? And guys, this is a super slick capability, and I would recommend it if you were doing this virtually with a realtor, you would have the link ready to go. So you're going to get on the phone, you're going to walk them through it, but you put a link in chat so they can follow along. And guys, everybody on this call, in a minute, you're going to see Scott's link in chat, and you'll be able to follow along and get the highlight, get the consumer experience that your consumers would get. I'll tell you when I see it in chat.
Okay. On the Facebook Live chat or in this chat?
No, in this chat, like in the Zoom chat, because I'll take it and put it in Facebook Live. Or, yeah, you can do the other one. Whatever's easiest, whatever's easier for you, bro.
Okay.
So stay tuned, guys. I'm not going to remind you. It will be coming to you in Facebook Live within a matter of seconds. Click on it and follow along.
Okay, I'm going to go over that first one real quick. So I did two here for Glenn and his seller. We're going to go over that first one. There you go. Got it. Okay. And so what I did on this, if you notice on the header, I put the property address, and the one we're going to focus on is payment. So now the buyer's concern probably is, I need to have probably, let's say their issue is payment. So first row, this is where the seller and Glenn counter them. So this is the math or financials the potential buyer is going to look at. 535, putting 10% down, they're going to finance 481. 3.25 on a 30-year fix, total payment 2678, cash to close 62.4. So those are the vitals as far as payment and cash to close that the buyer is going to be looking at. And that just doesn't work for them, let's say on a pre-qual and or a personal budget. And so they're going to counter, this is their counter second row. They're going to counter at 475, same 10% down. And what's going to provide them relief is a lower down or a lower monthly payment. So by doing submitting 475, they're going to give a payment of $23.91, which is a savings of $286. That's great for the potential buyer. That doesn't work for Glenn and the seller, giving away $60,000. And so here's the solution. Let's give a fair and full price counter in structure for the buyer at 535. There's where the comps are. There's, as a lender, that's where I'm going to pull my appraisal out. I'm going to structure a $16,000 seller buy down in the purchase contract with the seller and Glenn. Now look at the benefits here. 535, and I'll just cut to the chase. 2 5/8 on a 30-year fix. This is not a 2-to-1 buy down. This is a 30-year fix at 2 5/8 mortgage. I also did a single premium buyout. Now I have payment at $23.91.80. That's exactly the same payment at $475. And I have the same savings, but look what I did. Would Glenn and the seller invest $16,000 in order to deliver a payment they need at $475? Heck yes, because the buyer got the payment they needed, but the seller, what did Glenn do for his seller? He maintained comps, but he put $44,000 back in a net on their net sheet for that seller. So seller, we help Glenn and the seller check the box by delivering $44,000 left in the net sheet, but also we address the big hurdle of the buyer's monthly payment. We gave him a 30-year fixed mortgage at $23.91 at a sales price of $535. We both won there, both the buyer and the seller. Questions on this one?
Did you buy out the MIP?
I did, PMI. Did a single premium buyout and I took the rate down. So I structured it correctly in the contract, which is critical. And then I translated and I moved it over into the bank and I worked my numbers. I recorded the video down left. And so think about this, guys. So as Glenn's putting, let's take this to a whole nother level. Let's go one more presentation because I think the next one is just ridiculous. So here's another thing I did.
So time out, Scott.
Okay.
Would you always do this? Like, realtor said, hey, I need some help.
Yep.
Is it common that you're kind of like, hey, here's one idea and here's another idea? Or do you usually have one idea?
No, well, yeah. So I'm going to look at, I need the links. Let me look at the property. 2, where's comps, right? And then 3, how much do I have to work with, right? And then I'll get into the buyer. If I know a little bit about the buyer, then I can actually structure identically what they're trying to do. And so comps,
okay.
I do at 5. So yeah. And so I went extra here on Glenn. He doesn't know this one's coming at him right now. So again, I'm thinking of the buyer knowing I got to fix her a little bit, not as far as a rental loan, but as fix her, let's hold some money back. So there could be a problem here with the buyer and say, hey, I appreciate that, but let's let me go back to that original presentation. I want to focus on one thing.
And Scott, because I was like, well, the buyer still's got to come up with that $6,000. That's exactly what I was thinking. And as a good LO, you know exactly what realtors think.
62,000, that may not work, right? Even though we gave them the payment. So let's go one step further. Let's go ahead and take both of these now. So let's go back to the beginning and I'll flash through the first one again. That's what they're looking at. 2762, right? And 62,418 to close. Doesn't work. They're trying to get it to here. So they're going to offer 475 in order to get that payment of $24,29 and $56,000 cash to close. They need both of those things to happen. Great, let's give it to them. So let's give them a fair and full price again, $535, a $17,000 seller buy down. Look at the payment I delivered. So I checked that box. Identical payment here, guys. 2 5/8 on a 30-year fix. You gonna get rate shopped? No way. There's no PMI. And not only that, I actually put less money down, but look at my cash to close. It's actually $2,000 less than what they're trying to achieve. So I check the box on payment and I check the box on cash to close. So there's no one that's going to compete with me as a lender. So I can deliver this to Glenn and the seller going, here's how we counter, guys. We're going to counter them at 535, structure the seller buy down in there so we can give them both payment and cash to close. And now let's go one step further. If you're running virtual open houses or you're running all of these people, agents and or buyers coming in, let's deliver these presentations to all these potential clients. Let's put up a call text number that has the presentation on there and say, hey guys, hey, it's Glenn Bill. I'm running a virtual open house and here's the property. Not only that, my lender partner, Scott here, has some phenomenal financing. I need you guys to text in, you know, Kelser Boulevard, whatever the property is, Kelser Boulevard into it, right? And then I'm going to deliver that presentation to those buyers, agents, and buyers. And guess what, Glenn? We just got a bunch of leads now that you and I can go over and keep educating. Maybe this is not the property, but they love the strategy. We now can go start sell more real estate, especially if you have buyers agents in your building that we can help.
Awesome. That's great. Scott, thank you for that. And I'll circle back with you after our presentation today.
So real quick, Scott, thank you for that. For anybody that wants to be part of Scott's community and how he's helping loan officers turn seller buy downs into a competitive advantage, and more than that, how he's taking mortgage strategies and promoting them online and using keyword marketing. Scott, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can go, one, you can find my information pretty easy, but you can go to Lender Launchpad. So lenderlaunchpad.com. That right there has everything you want to know about all what we're doing.
Put a link down below, brother.
I
All
will.
right, man. Hey, feel free to stay on, but Glenn has got some more ideas to share and he's got to go in 5 minutes.
Cool. Thank you again, Scott. That was awesome. And we'll certainly check out Lender Launchpad. Let's just finish with the last two. What do we call them? Realities, right? Of the mortgage loan originator realtor relationships. And this really is about lenders helping realtors, but this is a question for the mortgage community. What is your social footprint? Like, what is your social footprint? When's the last time you Googled yourself? What does that look like? What do you look like on Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, Facebook? Where are you on a Google search? Have you audited your social footprint? I just went through an audit for $497. And I said, look at everything. Tell me what's great. Tell me what sucks. Tell me where I can get better. But as we emerge out of this pandemic, your social footprint is going to need to be an A+, not a C-. And there are pros that will do this for you. But I always think it's best that, you know what, you act like you're a customer and Google yourself and see where it takes you. See if you have videos from 13 years, which I have, coming up on your Google search. And they're going to go, I never use this freaking guy. You got to be kidding me. And then they meet you and you're like, oh, hell, that video is from 13. So there's some editing. There's some cleanup. I would ask you to find your 2 best friends. Find your best realtor. Have your kid do it and say, hey, do me a favor. Look me up online and tell me what you think of my social footprint. The question is, it's time now to audit it, become aware, and say, how do I show up online? Am I an A+ or am I a C-? Thoughts on that, Dave?
I couldn't agree more. I think how you show up digitally, and I think we need to start using the term. We are in the virtual economy. And while as America opens up, the way Glenn talked about earlier, you're either going to watch what's happening or you're going to lead what's happening. And this is what leaders do. And again, think about your rate quotes. How are you showing up digitally? Are you putting your brand in a way that is marketing? Again, just another case for using Mortgage Coach and another case for doing content like the one we just did. So love the idea, and you're super on point, brother. What's
Cool.
number 5?
And then number 5, I just think is really an opportunity that helps you. I believe in the builder community. I think new construction is going to be killer. I think custom new construction. I represent a lot of custom builders. They're custom builders. They like to build custom homes, and they're going to be sitting on $1 million specs that are a problem. And I think to attack the, look at the market, find every listing that is expiring. You should be on top of expired listings. You should be partnering with realtors on expired listings. You should be getting that list every day. I get a list of expireds every day. I don't call on them all, but if I see 3 or 4 gold nuggets, I'm calling them. And if you can create mortgage solutions, financing, so I'm going to tell you what is really sexy for real estate agents. And this is why I created Source of Sales Private Group, because loan originators can help realtors sell real estate. I know this, and this is what I teach in purchase mentality when I do this. And mine is a platform where realtors and LOs are coming together to collaborate and mastermind. And it's sellers love it when you talk to them about permanent rate buy downs. I was calling it a 2-1, but do you know how good you can make a real estate agent look because they have this je ne sais quoi of mortgage language, and they can go into a listing and start like creating all these different mortgage scenarios. One of the top listing scripts that I use is when we go into listings, and this requires the aid of a mortgage professional, a competitive listing, is I'd always ask our sellers, how many agents am I competing against? You're competing against 3, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I'd love to know, are you aware of the absolute minimum cost monthly that I can sell your home for and the absolute minimum down payment I can sell your home for? I want you to think about this. You're a seller, you need to sell your home, and you're interviewing 3 agents. Number 1, is any agent talking or asking that question? No. And how do I know that? I've been doing this for 31 years. They never do. And I haven't trained everybody through my Source of Sales system. But when I would go in and say, are you aware of the minimum amount of cash it takes to buy your home? Did any other agent ask you that? No. Well, ask the other 2 agents what it's going to be. Now, I don't know if there's no money down programs are not available, but I'd find them, because the answer is 0. I can sell your home with 0 money down. That's going to give you a leg up right now. They don't give a shit about your marketing plan. They're like, this guy knows how to finance real estate. And what is the absolute minimum monthly payment? And I would go in with a 1-year arm with 2 points bought down, because no other realtor, even if they did go through my training, isn't going to even think to buy down the rate. And I'm like, you know, look at, I can sell your home for $1,036 a month. And the other agents come in and they're like, $1,234. They're not going to list with those people, right? So the point is this creativity, which was number 2, but there are sellers that are suffering. There are sellers there with terrible real estate agents that aren't full-time, that are part-time, that are charging low fees, and the ability, that low-hanging fruit. I'm a seller that needs to sell, and I got not good people helping me. Help real estate agents go after the low-hanging fruit. Those are buy owners, those are expireds. That's really never changed, but I think the language and the scripting has changed. And I'm just telling you, those are just easy deals, which that gets into our open house for sale by owner strategy for mortgage brokers, which is ridiculous, which is probably on one of the other mortgage coach trainings that I've done. So come see me at Source of Sales High Performance Training for agents and loan originators. Check me out on Facebook Live at the University of Attitude every day at 3 o'clock if you need a little attitude boost. And today we're going to be talking about positioning yourself for success in business and in life. So hopefully we'll see you. It's been a great 4 weeks, Dave, and I look forward to being with you.
Bro.
And I got another 5 minutes, so we're good.
Okay.
But I'll look forward to being with you on May 26th, I believe, or May 28th.
Yeah. So guys, we're not going to be doing our Wednesdays with Glenn Bill for the next few Wednesdays. Although who knows, if you guys like this, let us know down below. Like, we want more Glenn Bill. And the more demand we have in the community, I know personally, I just love talking with you. So guys, here's my closing thought. Just listening to the past 4 interviews I've done with Glenn, thinking about the market that we're in, thinking about the fact that America is days to weeks from opening up, thinking about what Glenn said, that there's going to be some people that are watching it and some people that are leading it and making news, turning this opportunity to become the most well-known, most well-respected mortgage and or real estate professional in the city that they live in. Someone's going to do it in every city. And I want the mortgage coach community to do it. So here's the other thought, guys. Like hearing that conversation between Scott and Glenn, it's like most loan officers solve one or two problems. I can get you qualified and I can close, and this is your rate, this is your payment, this is your cash to close. The people that kill it the most are the people that can solve the most problems. You'll notice that Scott was asking questions, and every time he asked a question, he was playing chess. He was solving more problems. And by the way, the loan officer that can solve the most problems closes the most loans. The realtor, did you hear it? Like how Glenn shows up in a listing agent. Most realtors are showing up and saying, hey, I can market your home. Here's my pictures. Here's my lifestyle. Watch this video of me, bring this home to life. And they've got a track record. Glenn was solving more problems. So guys, the takeaway from this is be the loan officer that can solve the most problems in today's market, in the city that you live in. Every city's different. The realities of LA are different than the realities of Bakersfield. The realities of those two markets are very different than Bellevue, Oregon. Bellevue, Oregon, or not Oregon, Washington are very different than Tacoma. So be the local expert, be the local problem solver, and you will be the loan officer that just defines your success over the next 2 to 3 years. So Glenn, those are my last thoughts. Since this is your show, any last thoughts for you, brother?
Nope. Just to say this, continue to learn, continue to find out who's crushing it, to continue to follow Dave and all the wonderful guests that he has. I'd love to engage with you all. If you guys are all a part of events or part of mortgage companies that have keynote address speakers, I'd love to come in and present on the platform for you guys and work with your companies. I will not let you down. I will make you look good. And I don't know if mortgagemedia.com is taken, but the first one to go to Google and get it before me, it's all yours. Mortgagemedia.com. That's my $1 million idea. Let me know who gets it. Let's go get some.
Go get some. So Scott Nicholson, dude, thank you for coming in for 2 straight weeks, representing the mortgage coach community of mortgage professionals. And you were on last week's call and you joined us last minute on this one. Any closing thoughts as a community leader?
Yeah, I got put under the fire with Glenn saying, hey, I need you to come in. I need you to help me. What do we do here? I need you to bridge that gap. So, I mean, to go into Glenn and his personal production and have a real live offer sitting right there and figure that out, in 15, 20 minutes and deliver that to where then Glenn can go back to a seller. I think people need to pay more attention to that. Because we're putting 15,000, so to speak, in Glenn's pocket. But not only that, we're putting 44,000 in the sellers. We're achieving buyers. And I know, like Dan Keller says, it's super tight. But just wait when we start to open up, and maybe sellers now are pushing inventory. That's going to pivot immediately. And not only that, the health of the buyer. There'll be some healthy buyers, but there's going to be a lot of scratch and dent buyers out there that we got to take care of. And this is how you would take care of them.
Yeah, and perhaps, Scott, the thing that I really took from it 2 weeks ago was moving the ratios, right?
Yeah.
Back in ratio, that's the win, man. I was like, oh my God, that's, you can reduce it 50 grand, but your ratio ain't going to change, bro.
Yeah. And so what's funny, I'll leave you with this. For every dollar you give me in the seller buy down to reduce rate, it's equivalent to $3 in price. So think of that. Right? So I'm giving you, leaving you. So someone, as the banks start to tighten the box, right, of lending standards, which we're already seeing, we're already there, and it's getting super tight back ends. The best way to do that is actually a seller buy down, because the price, you'd have to reduce it 30,000 to get the ratios they need, where a seller buy down only did it with 10,000, right? So that's how you get into those tighter boxes we're going to be in.
Cool.
Guys, if you got value from today's call, give us a like. Whether you're watching this at Facebook, whether you're watching this at Facebook Live, connect. And the biggest thing you can give, like if you like this call, I would like a like in our community just to create the engagement in the comment. But guys, go to Glenville. He dedicated 4 hours of time. And I know this guy, he's a pro. He preps. He lives this stuff. He thought about the mortgage coach community in his shower. I know he did.
I do.
And so go give him a like, guys. Like, go show some love. Go get motivated from him on University of Attitude. So connect. There'll be links down below to connect with Glenn Bill. Give him a thank you. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you. Hey, man, that was